श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। उकारस्वन्धकारो वै उकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Sloka 49. Aham brahmeti vakyartha bodho yavadridi bhavet shamadhi sahidastavad abhyaset shravanadikam. Adi Shankara has concluded the Tvam Pada Vichara, Tat Pada Vichara and Tattvamasi Vakya Vichara. Now the Acharya is entering into the phalam, the sadhana and phalam. What is that we need to do after having heard this? If you look at the Upanishads, any teaching in Vedanta is very interesting. After having discussed Aham Brahmasmi, Mahavakya, all complete details and completely saying that there is only Brahma and nothing else. Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. And then it comes back to Upasana, comes back to other practices which we should not lose sight of. Even great Mahatmas we have seen, those who have reached the state of Brahmanishta, those who are in Sagara Samadhi, even they go to temples, they worship. Even Bhagavan Krishna says that for Loka Sankrartam I need to show as an example to this society. Even if a person has reached that perfect Siddhaprajna, a person's life becomes example. Whether he does something practically or not, he does something. He is not intentionally doing anything, but his very existence is doing a benefit until the Videha Mukti. But for a Jnani, from the standpoint of a Jnani, there is no Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. We should be clear about it. There is only Mukti. He is living here, he is a Mukta Purusha. The body is already has given it to Ishvara. Therefore, from the standpoint of the Jnani, there are no Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. It is only for our understanding we say Jivan Mukti. After Jivan Mukti there is nothing. Jivan is Mukta Purusha. Only Videha is going, because there is one thing we are going to see, that in Karana Shariram, the Avarana Shakti is there, that will go for a Jnani. That's what Purushottananda and all these, they say there is no difference between sleep and Sagara Samadhi for them. Somehow practically said what they have experienced. In sleep, do you sleep? When the question is asked to the Guru of Santananda Swamiji in Vasishtha Guha, he said, I can understand what you all do when I sleep. Because for me, there is no difference between sleep and being in Jagrata Avastha. He himself said that. And we have also seen that Avarana Shakti, what is covering us is once it is revealed, it is once and for all, it is removed. It cannot come back and do that. Therefore, it is, the Shastram also agrees on that particular point. So what here, there are threefold exercises in Vedanta, What are these? This is the sadhana, Shravanam, Mananam and Nityasana. We have discussed in detail about this. It's a consistent study of the central theme under a Guru from the Shastram. This is what is Shravanam. But I have already told, just hearing is not Shravanam. Listening, understanding the central theme without doubt there also. There you have got a conviction. Without doubt means there I am convinced, I am conviction. Suppose you are attending an Advaita class, you are absolutely convinced and your conviction is for Advaita. That is the point. Still you don't have a doubt about this and that. There are different planes of Visishta Advaitam, Dvaidam and these things, but I know that I am studying this and I am convinced with this idea. That doubt should not be there even in Shravanam stage. If that is there, then you are not listening to anything. So any doubtful knowledge is no knowledge. That we should be very clear. And Shravanam removes the confusion. Shravanam itself removes the confusion. But what is the difference between Shravanam and Mananam? Mananam, even though you are convinced, supposing a Visishta Advaitin comes, a Dvaitin comes, day to day you got a Prameya Asambhavana. What Vedantic message is Advaitam. Our sense organs reveal constantly Dvaitam. There is a contradiction in day-to life. There, Mananam is very necessary. Even though you are convinced, there are many occasions where you come across that your conviction is tested. Therefore, you need to also understand the views of Purvapaksha, the opposite views. The views who say, this should probably happen after complete Shravanam, it's better. You do Mananam and Nityasana also when you do Shravanam. There is no tight compartment of 5 years like that. But you do Mananam, you do Nityasana, but the major portion in the beginning should be on Shravanam. Because when you do Shravanam, you need not go to this kind of inquiry and counter inquiries because it will give you more confusion. Therefore, it is traditionally accepted and advised that when you are in Shravanam, it is the maximum time that you spend is to listen and understand without confusion under a Guru and from Shastra. It is believed generally that more than 90% of the adhikaris is not enough just Shravanam. There are very rare, maybe 0.1% is what people say of adhikaris when they just hear it's enough. Because they have adhikaritvam, therefore this Mananam and Nityasana, they will not take such long time. There are some Mahatmas who just listen. Sahasya Brahmendram, for example, he was there. He even questioned, he has been asking the teacher. Only once the teacher, when he has been arguing and putting questions, he used to argue and argue. Sahasya Brahmendram. Teacher asked him, why don't you shut your mouth? That's why he shut his mouth and went on. Afterwards, he never spoke. But for him, it is just a flash of a second from the teacher. Everything was over. Until then, he was like us only, arguing, counter-arguing, all those things. So it's also one lecture of Siddha or not. How much argument I reduce. Sincere. Because you understand everything, there is no point. Nobody wins an argument. Even in corporate sector, they clearly say that nobody wins an argument. The argument stays as argument. And the person goes afterwards, they say, this fellow knows only that much. Therefore, we can argue for the purpose of establishing it's okay. But the other person, we don't change. We can only influence. The changing of a person is done by God's grace and that person's conviction, understanding. So, this Prameya Asambhavana should go on. For that, the Vedantic message is contradicted in everyday life from our pratyaksha pramanam. That's why this Shakti is given. The Maya is every day is testing us. Therefore, in practical life, when we encounter what we do with the prameyam is very, very important. The opposites are possible. Here, there is a message. The opposites are possible in two different planes. Dvaidam and Advaidam can coexist. That's why all Acharyas are coexisting. You can also coexist in Advaidam and Dvaidam. There is nothing wrong in that. How? When you are lying in your bed, you are dreaming and you are traveling all over the country. You travel and you also lie down on the bed. Are you not in two different planes? The person who is dreaming is lying on the bed, he is not going anywhere. But the actual person in the dream is traveling. But his Stula Shariram is here. But his Sushma Shariram is, Antakaranam is traveling. There are two different activities happening at the same time. Yes, this is where Shankaracharya is catching up the point. Therefore, it is Paramarthika Satyam and Vyavakarika Satyam can coexist together. Absolute Brahman, Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman are there. Like your dream world. The dream world is happening, but the person is not affected. There again, Asangaha, Ashabdham, Asparsham, Arupam, all these things are proved by Ashaka. This is amazing. This proof is very amazing. Therefore, I can lie on bed and travel with the train. Sthiti and Gati. In Sanskrit, if you want to make a pun, you can say Sthiti and Gati can coexist. The Sthiti is stationary, Gati is movement. Every minute is doing that. I am sitting here, but I am moving. Isn't it? The world is moving, the earth is rotating, therefore I am rotating. Both are true. Therefore, opposites are true in Vyavakarika Satyam. It is definitely possible. So for everything, like even when I am sitting, there are so many bacteria in my body, they just keep moving. Inside also there is movement, outside also there is movement, but I am shadow. But I am in different plane. Therefore, different planes, we cannot compare different planes. You can't compare a pumpkin and a banana. A banana is straight, pumpkin is round, that is big, it is small. Therefore, what status you are there. Therefore, whenever people come to argue, please ask, what is your concept of God? That's very important, because we keep on arguing from different standpoints. Therefore, always when we start an argument or whatever we do with the other person, we first understand what is the plane, what is the state in which is he talking in Jagrata Avastha? Is he talking in Sushupti Avastha? He cannot talk. Is he talking in Swapna Avastha? Even if he talks, we can't listen. Only in Jagrata Avastha. The whole thing that we are talking is only with regard to Jagrata Avastha. If it is a Vyavakarika world, we live only in 1/3 of our own thing. Padosya Vishwabhutali. Tripadasya Vritam Divi. Tripadam is left there. And we don't even know what is that Tripadam. That is what is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And Tripadam is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, and one Padam is Vishwa. And that Vishwa only we are talking about. 3/4 we just forget. And therefore, we should ask the other person where he stands, and then we go to there and understand. So, Shastra reveals Paramarthika Advaitam, sense organs reveal Vyavakarika Advaitam. There is no logical contradiction. This is a very important message we should listen. There is no contradiction at all. We are talking of different states. Veda does not contradict science also, because it is beyond science. What it talks is not within the reign of science. Science is talking about object. I am talking about all objects included there, beyond time and space. Then in Nityasanam, the most important thing is removing the habitual Deha Abhimana. That what is remaining of this? Everything should happen habitually. Like I go to my house, number 11, Car Street. I don't remember I am living in number 11 Car Street, the house is green, painted, and there will be a nest house, that house has 3 floors, nothing I remember. I just go to my house. This is what is Nitas. I just do everything without being conscious of that. I absolutely become one. and I have no intention of doing my action, and I am not aware of doing that action, therefore that's not an action. That is what is inaction. In real meaning, what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita is that, because I don't take any effort. I just leave it to Ishvara. Who is making you go, how the heart functions, how our breathing is taking place. In that way, you also walk. You are not walking, Ishvara is walking. Because you don't apply your mind. Oh, who are you? You are the person Chidabhasa plus Antakaranam, your buddhi, your ahankara. There is no ahankara there. Because you are not even thinking that you are there and the house is there, you are there. You blindly, you just go back to your house. This is an example. So this Viparita Bhavana to be eliminated, that is the most important. Viparita Bhavana is whatever is opposite you think, that should go. And it should become automatic and spontaneous. It is Deha Vyadirikta Atma. That's what you should do. Mano Buddhi Chittani Aham. This Nirvana Shatkam, Adi Shankara, you can remember. So these three things put together, Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam, in this way. Generally we hear Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam, but the exact meaning we have dealt with. In this way if you do, it is called Jnana Abhyasaha. All of them to be cyclically going, not compartmentally. That also you should know. But the percentage of time that you allot from individual to individual, it will differ. And from stage to stage, it may differ. For some, nothing is needed. If you have understood everything, nothing is needed. It all depends on the individual. You can't have a compartment-type rule for these things. It becomes there. One warning Acharya is giving in this sloka is sadhana system constantly checked and maintained like a good driver checking for the tire pressure and petrol. A good driver has to check the petrol, everything. We have started going in a long way from Theni to Chennai. In between the car is punctured or there is no air pressure, something like that. Sadhana system you have, but you have to maintain it. You have to stop the car, check whether everything is right. Otherwise, the car will not take you to the destination. That's also another important. But that's why when he talks all these things, he is also cautioning what we should exactly do. Here, look at this. Shravana adikam abhyasayet. Until then, samadhi sahitaha yavat aham brahmasmi vakyartha bodha is stiram. Until then, tavad, what you should do? Samadhi sahita abhyasayet. With how? Shravanadikam. Shravanadikam says, Acharya is always very short. Shravana Adi. Shravana Mandam Nidhyasanam you have to add. So, after having taught everything, Mahakam, Tattum, Asi, Nidad, Apiya, all these things he have told, and he comes back to Samadhi Shakti Sampatti. He is not forgetting it. Until when? Until you are stiram, dridam of aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi is not just word. So, until you have come to that established stage, you need to follow that. I think is a very important advice the Acharya is giving us. Go to the next 50th. Srutacharya prasadena Dhrudo bodho yada bhavet Nirasta sesha sansara Nidana purushastadha. So now he is entering into phalam. You got threefold phalam. The direct phalam is result, is ajnana nivritti. The direct phalam, you got jnanam, ajnanam goes. That is the direct phalam of the Vakya Vritti, Mahavakya, Artha, Vicharaha. The indirect phalam is Jivan Mukti and Vidya Vritti. See, here also very, very clear the Acharya is. Your aim is not for Jivan Mukti, Vidya Mukti. Already you are a Mukta Purusha. Your aim is actually to remove that ajnanam. Once, that's why it is called direct phalam. That directly, if you remove Ajnanam, Jnanam takes place. Once Jnanam takes place, you need not wait. There is no time for Jivan Mukti, Vidaya Mukti, and all. It all happens just like that. Therefore, we need to take it as direct result. When knowledge comes, ignorance goes. You are entering into a room, there is darkness, you are just switching on. The light comes automatically. When light comes, there is no darkness. Is there any time between light coming and darkness going? There cannot be any time. So that's how it is. Then everything becomes very, very clear, and doubts, all kinds of things go. So now, these coming 4 slokas is talking about this phalam. So what does it actually mean? In this sloka, he is talking about Ajnana Nivritti. In 51st and 52nd sloka, he is talking about Jivan Mukti. In 53rd, the last sloka, he is talking about Viveka Mukti. In that order, he has placed all the slokas. The beginning is what he says is Pramada Asambhavana, Prameya Asambhavana, Vipirita Asambhavana, Rahita Jnanam is called Drida Jnanam. That's what he says. All these things should go. This happens through Shruti and Acharya. That also he says. This doesn't happen just like that. This happens because of the prasadam taken from the Shruti and Acharya. And the grace here means, the prasadam, grace here means, it is not like other systems. It is teaching. The grace of Guru is nothing but teaching. He is not just looking at or that kind of thing. In Vedantic understanding, grace means teaching. Teaching, systematic teaching and guidance for others. That's why we call the Guru as a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. He is not just Kevalam Brahmanishta or Kevalam Shrotriya. That cannot be the case in Vedanta. The Guru has to be having knowledge. He should have undergone the same thing from his Guru in the same way. And that's where, in this system, he is called a Guru. So when you have come to Vedantic study, we need to understand that the grace here, what Acharya means is that Nirasta Asesha Sansara Nidanaha. He becomes free from ignorance. Shankaracharya does not use the word ignorance here. He uses the word cause of the sansara. That's what he uses here. Nirasta, free from, Asesha, total, Sansara Nidanaha. So he uses word Sansara, the removal of Sansara. That is, but Sansara Nidanaha ultimately uses, it means ignorance. He doesn't use the word Ajnana. Ignorance, he uses the cause of Ajnanam. What is cause of Ajnanam? So, what is cause of Sansara? That is Ajnana. Sansara Nidana, root cause of Sansara. Root cause of Sansara is Ajnana. So, he uses an indirect terminology for that. So, Nidanaha is root cause, Nirasta is free from, Asesha Sansara is total Sansara. So, removal of the root cause of Sansara. This is the direct flow. That's what he is talking here. So here the catchword is Nirasta Ashesha Samsara Nidanaha. The total samsara, the cause of total samsara is removed. Removed forever. How it is removed? Because of Shruti Acharya Prasadena and Drida Bodhaha. Yada Bhavet, when it happens. Tada Nirasta Sesha Sisara Nidanaha. So, Ajnana Nivritti is the direct phalam, is the message given in this sloka, 50. Move to 51. Vishirna karya karanaha Bhuda suchmaira navrataha Vimukta karma nigadaha Sadyayeva vimuchyate. Now he starts the secondary phalam. Jivan Mukti. What is the consequence of Ajnana Nivritti? The first secondary phalam, Ajnana Nivritti, is giving Jivan Mukti. That means I am not bound anymore, we understand. Listening to Mahavakyam, what is the actual result? I am not bound anymore. I am Brahman. I am already a Mukta Purusha. I need not work for anything. That's the basic teaching. And I become a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta. Mukta means free. Free from what? Free from samsara, he has given in the previous sloka very clearly. The root cause of free from samsara, how will you get free from samsara? Only through Ajnana. See how clear and very firm the Acharya is. Step by step, he is building, and he never leaves the word Ajnana Nivritti. Jivan Mukti also, how does it happen? You go through from sloka 48 to 49 to 50 to 51. His main point is the whole problem for you is samsara, and the root cause of samsara is ajnanam, and that is removed only through listening to Mahavakya Vicharam. And the Mahavakya Vicharam should not be done alone. It has to be done through a guru, and you need to base on Shastram, how it is built. So nicely. And he says this is the right way to do it. So, Karya Karana Vishirnaha. He says, that is, Karya means Stula Sariram. You have to take it as Stula Sariram. Karana is the Suchma Sariram. Here for Stula Sariram, the Karana is Suchma Sariram. And it is dissolved. Weakening, Vishirnaha you can say it is weakening or dissolution. The meaning you can take. The capacity to give sorrow is weakened, is the actual meaning for this. Karya Karana Vishirnaha means the capacity of the Sula Sukshma Karya Karana, these sarirams, is weakened or dissolved. How? Because Mithya is understood. This is not a permanent thing. This comes and goes. This is not me. First thing, this is not me. The second thing is, it is not permanent, it is not satyam. By that knowledge, because I understand that mithyatvam of this body and Suchma Sariram also. And it is something like dream world. Losing its capacity to hurt me. Something very bad happened, somebody died in dream. It really hurts me. I cry. I shout. But when I am awake, it's just a dream. It's a very nice concept. Even if you don't take it seriously, Vedanta, you don't take seriously, forget. Moksha, you forget. Is it helpful for your day-to-day life or not? This is where I admire Swami Vivekananda. He says practical Vedanta. What is a great concept? This particular concept you take and apply in your life. Forget all other things. Some people dispute, no, Vedanta is only for that. It's not like Vivekananda is very clearly telling. It has helped my life personally. I have been living like that and it helped me. Because then nothing happens. You are insulated. You are insulated from the normal happening. If you are not able to do that and you talk all the way Vedanta, how does it help you? One day, finally, at the age of 85, suddenly something will happen. And you will not worry about the world. It will never happen. It's impossible. 85 years you have lived like that. You are hurt when somebody is talking ill of you. You are hurt when somebody is harsh to you. You happen all this. Therefore, this mithyatvam, the world is temporary. My body is temporary. The Suchma Sariram Karya Karana, that's what he says. Karya Karana Shirnaha. It dissolves. This knowledge should do that. If it has not done that, I have no knowledge in Artha. That's the Artha. It's very clear. You need not have a very PhD, M.Tech, all these things is not at all necessary. Very, very simple. We can let's see, am I hurt or not? And this really helps. The Mithyatvam of the world is very clearly, I am able to see that it's not Satyam, and Satyam I can understand because I've studied so much of Shastra. 6 months is enough, I think. But if more is needed, that depends on the individual. So it's a dream world loses its capacity, like a rope and snake, all these things. Why Dayananda Swamiji is so particular about the methodology, even though this looks very boring, and repeatedly telling the 10th man, Katakasha, Mahakasha, Adhyasa, Chitabhasa, all these things, but there is no other way. Because these are all the things, as long as earth is there, as long as you are there, rope and snake will be there. You have to give that example. Maybe for a while you can talk of the electricity and tube light. But this will change, this will also change. But rope and snake will be there. Because snake is given by God and rope is a very primitive thing. The primitive things are longevity-wise more. It's like comparative. We say Amara, the Devas we say Amara. But actually they also have Vritti. But comparatively they are Amara. Because they live longer life than us. So in that the comparative state we can see that. So Buddha Suchmaihi, that is Vishaya Prapanchaha, the world of objects, and Bhogya Prapanchaha. So Sabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, all these things. Vedanta falsifies. Bhokta and Bhogyam, both Vedanta falsifies. From the standpoint of my higher nature, Atma Swarupam. So Vishaya Prapancha, Bhogya Prapancha, you are excluding, and you are actually understanding, you are realizing your higher nature. What is realization? Realization is not something I acquire from outside. I just own up my own higher nature. My higher nature, the Atma Swarupam, that is Atma Swarupam. I just get it. My own Atma Swarupam, my own higher nature, I just move from the lower nature to the higher nature. That is what is Adhyasa removal. That is what is desire removal. Buddha says desire. Somebody says it is jnanam. Somebody says something else. Whatever you call, you are just leaving the lower, you are going to say yes, pray yes. Any name you give, that means I am born as a human being, as a complex person with that 5 components. Sariratrayam and then Chidabhasa, one Chit. Very simple word. I leave all the 4 and I go here. Or you take Chinmudra. Whatever it is, to leave this thing and get united to the highest, to my own nature, is the ultimate thing. I am doing all this. Anavrataha, not surrounded by a disturbing world, is anavrataha. I am not, this is a very interesting point. Some Mahatma has said this. I am not surrounded by a disturbing world. That's why I have been all along these 6 months telling, particularly for some of us, and generally for all of us, that if you hate world and go, mukti is remote. Impossible. You cannot destroy world. You cannot remove world. The world should not disturb you. That's the first test. Anything that, because as the first stage, I am able to understand, accept it, surrendering to Shakti, surrendering to Ambal. And then that becomes very, very nice to you. You take anything that is in nature, elephant, dogs, anything that doesn't communicate with us, in the beginning it opposes you. And then when you are nice to it, kind to it, it also becomes kind to you. And then it blesses you. Anything in the world. Therefore, you need to be abiding in yourself. How do you abide in yourself? As long as something is not disturbing. Actually, when we go and try to do meditation in the temple, sometimes it's not possible because a mosquito comes. It need not bite you. Sound is happening. How do you meditate? So something is happening. But I have to say that, hey Baba, don't come to me, please. You mentally try to say, Probably these mosquitoes may not come to you. I don't know. If you have that Shakti, I think you can do it. Even mosquitoes will keep away from you. For 1 hour, don't fly around me. You can instead, without any Odomos cream, you can do it. If you are a tapasvi, if you have that kind of power, we can do. Because in those days, rishis were sitting in forest. And where is Odomos cream? All kinds of things. And there would have been certainly some noises, birds chirping and all kinds of things. And we are disturbed even for small things. Some noise somewhere happens and I don't like it. And I can't bear with it. Therefore, this anavurta, not surrounded by a disturbing world, is very important. The world should not disturb. How does it, it's a very small example. Again, the Mahatma said, animals, see, however they are matured enough. One person has asked a question to Prajnanananda Swami after one class. And this person is coming from some Western thought. You say, this is always disputed with Dayananda Swamiji and Paramahansa Swamiji. You say that human beings have choice and animals do not have. How do you say? They also choose. They want to go left, their idea is that they want to go right. They don't understand that no animal has a court, high court, supreme court. No animal has a problem of criminal branch. No animal wants a policeman. So the difference is the buddhi of an animal is not, however high it is evolved. The highest evolved, they say, is dolphin and monkey. And when compared to human being, that is not compared at all. So low. The highest level of evoluted animals' knowledge of choosing is nowhere near a human being, therefore you need not even compare. A fellow is walking, a fellow is crawling. How can you compare that fellow with cheetah? There is no comparison at all. You can't even compare. Therefore, it is not right to say that animals also have choice. They have so limited choice. And another thing we should understand from the Sastric point of view, they don't have agami karma. We need to become animals actually in that aspect. Actually, when you become a Jivan Mukta, you don't produce agami karma. In that aspect, are you not like an animal? Animals, yes. Because you don't think that animals are inferior. They don't have agami karma, therefore in that respect, they are free from one very big problem. I have a problem. Whatever I do, I produce punya and papa. My thoughts produce punya and papa. But for animals, that they don't. Science doesn't know that. Science has no area to operate in this. Even in Veda Purva, forget about Vedanta, even in Veda Purva, whether you were right and going to Swargaloka, science cannot say. Science can neither say it is right nor say it is wrong. Science has no area at all. Like this. Punya and Papa, how do they know? Therefore, they say that you evolve, you condition learning, you take a mouse, a rat, you do all kinds of research. What do you know? You will never know Punya and Papa. It's not there written there. Therefore, you need Shastra. That's another very important point here. So, a dog is standing before a mirror. It barks. It thinks another dog is there. Because his buddhi is only that much. It will never know that there is its own image. It can't understand. Always it barks. How many number of times? But a human being, 3 times you can bark. Afterwards you will realize, oh, it's my image. If, for example, a person who has never seen mirror, a child, you go and show that mirror. It may not understand. But the second time it can. That's why we have a cognition and recognition. And then build on that. And then build even atomic power station. And then even go to Mars. Also, all these things are possible. But in this particular case, it is something like the dog barking and looking at another dog which barks there. But I understand that it's my own image. There is no another dog barking there. Therefore, this knowledge is Jivan Mukti. This is, I am a dog, I just bark now. I look at the mirror and I see the mirror. There is another thing that is doing action. There is nothing else other than me. Therefore, it cannot disturb me. Whatever is happening around me is my own shadow. Whatever is happening around me is nothing different from me. A fellow spits on me. A fellow is kicking me. I do it myself. There is no other Shakti other than me. This is how a Jivan Mukta should be. That's what the Acharya says. I am not saying this. That's how it has to be. We can test. The world should not disturb. How long? Until the dog becomes wiser. That's all. Very simple. So there is no time limit for that. So for Jnani is not surrounded by a fighting world, unfrightening world. Surrounded by non-frightening Mithya Prapancha is the understanding of Advaita Siddhanta by Acharya, Adi Shankara. How this happens? By power of knowledge, he has destroyed the shackle of karmas, the Sanchita karma. So he says, shackle, Nigadaya is shackle. In some books it is written as chain. The better word may be shackle. Chain. Chain na kalatla podukudu chain da. Even wear here also chain. But shackle is something which binds you. That's the appropriate word. So sadhya eva vimuchyate. He enjoys Jivan Mukti instantaneously. Sadhya, instantaneously he enjoys. Again he repeats that. Here the catchword is Bhuta Suchmair Anavrtaha Sadyeva Muchyate. Bhuta Suchmair Anavrtaha. What is the Jivan Mukti? The bondage from your Suchma and Sula Sariram. Yes, and you are released from that. That is your Jivan Mukti. And the world is not opposite to you. See the next sloka. Prarabdha karma vegena Jivan mukto yada bhavet Kinchit kalamanarabdha Karma bandhasya sanchaye. The Jivan Mukti is continued. Anarabdha karma bandhasya sanchaye. Satta Saptami. All the karmas other than prarabdha. What are the other karmas other than prarabdha? Sanchita and agami. These are burnt. This is traditionally told in Vedanta. It is burnt like a seed. The seed is burnt. Therefore, it cannot do anything. So, agami karma will not happen. The sanchita karma, many bags, many janmas, it also goes. But prarabdha doesn't go. Prarabdha is already fructified. Already it is matured. Therefore, all great Mahatmas, they had the physical problem, cancer, teeth, all these things will be there for Jivan Mukta also until the body is there. But the Jivan Mukta himself is not bothered about it. And he doesn't even recognize that. For him, it is any other body is suffering, this body is suffering. He is not, that is the standpoint difference. It is from the standpoint of the viewers on the world. For what? For the Jivan Mukta, his Antakaranam is not involved in that. That's how we should take it. That's why this Videha Mukti is not a different stage. For a Jnani, Videha Mukti and Jivan Mukti are not two different states. It is only for our understanding. Because he doesn't have a Deham. Then he has a Deha Abhimanam. That his Antakaranam will not have that Deha Abhimanam. He does not get fresh Punya Papa. He does not have Ahankara. That is also very important. That means Anarabdha Karma Bandhasya Sanchaye. That means he should not have Ahankara. That is very important. It is like animal state. That means you don't have this agami karma, sanchita karma, you also don't have that pride, see a dog, you just dress it so nicely, it won't go and tell everybody that I am wearing this nice dress. It won't say. That is what aspect of ahakara. And one cow has this horn, not symmetric, one horn like this, one horn like this. It will not grieve because I see, look at this Lakshmi, she is so nice. I am so bad. It won't say. Therefore, that particular point is going off. It is exactly like the fan. When it is switched off, it goes on for some more time. and it goes on. But the jnani doesn't bother about it. It goes on or doesn't go on. It goes on. Because he has handed over his shariram to Ishvara. The Ishvara takes care. Because as long as the shariram is there, it is a part of the prapancha. So it becomes, instead of the Vakti, it becomes samasti. Already it has become samasti. That point we should understand. Only from our point we have got a Vakti. I am not there. Then where is my body? Therefore, there is no separate entity in case of a jnani. It's only from the point of view of others and the world we consider. So he remains the Jivan Mukta. Prarabdha, the Sula Sukshma Karna Shariram, they are alive. The only difference is, as I already told, in the Karna Shariram, the Avarana Shakti goes. Even though the Sharirams are there for existence, Avarana Shakti goes. It can't remain. Once the Avarana goes, it can't come back. It will not delude him. That delusion will not happen to a jnana. That's what we have seen in our evening workshop discussions. Clearly, Ramana Maharshi says about this. So once you have gone to that state, you remain in the state all the time. That you can call as Sagaja Samadhi. That is what is Sagaja Samadhi. It is accepted in Vedanta. A jnani is always in Sagaja Samadhi. That's how it is. In a yogi's language, it is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Sagaja Samadhi, all these terminologies. If it is a Brahmanista, Siddha Pranja, he is always in Sagaja Samadhi. Because his Avarana Shakti is gone, even in Sushupti. For a normal man, when he dies, his all Sarirams, Sula Sariram only goes. Anyani dies. What does it mean? Anyani, Sula Sariram, he has lost. All other things he carries with him. But Jnani, I used to think at the age of 10, sitting on the banks of Kaveri river in Kumbhakonam. All these 5 Panchabuddhas, I hear something here and there from the school. It's all traditional schools, And I said, it's all the whole 5 elements in the world. I also have 5 elements. What is there different? So this all will go back to the 5 elements. That's all about life. Why people are getting married, all these things they do, I used to ask. But this is only half knowledge. But we are all sent by Brahma with this knowledge. It's not that suddenly you come to the 6 months course and sit here. It's not done in one janma. It's all many janmas. That's what Dayananda Swamiji told, you have done a lot of punyam for coming here and sitting in this hall. It is something has brought us here. We think we are doing it, but something has also acted on that. That means from childhood also it is inbuilt. This kind of thinking. Why a man thinks like this, the other man doesn't think? Why should something is propelling you from inside? So it took many years, 30 years, 40 years for somebody. Maybe for somebody it is only 4 or 5 days. We don't know. But these kinds of thoughts come from time to time. For some people, if the thought is always persistent, he is called Munch. That's all. This thought, the 5 elements are outside me, also 5 elements. What is that I? That fellow? Who is that fellow? There are only 5 elements and 5 elements. Where is this ahankaram coming in? That Shastram has to help. For some people, the Shastram is taught by God. They are yoga brashtas. Probably in previous Janma they have already done it. Therefore, they just get it. In Pranas, you hear even from womb, the rishis understand. Just what they wanted was to get inside the womb of a mother. That's all. That much little bit left in the previous Janma. We don't know. It is quite possible. So that Avarana Shakti is gone, therefore roasted seed won't sprout again. That is Jivan Mukta. Alive without samsara. The another word you can say is Jivan Mukta is alive without samsara. It's great. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says God is manifest everywhere, but in Mahatmas he is manifest more. This is a real Satyavak. Because the person of that status is telling that. You see how true it is. Alive without samsara. So God is living in front of you and you say, I can't see God. Therefore you can't mix words. Sometimes that I told in the beginning of the class, from which standpoint you are talking is very important. I see God. When I see Sri Ramakrishna, I see God. Why? Because he is alive without samsara. You only told Api Bola hai. In Adi Shankara is told that alive without samsara. This is not alive without samsara. This is without samsara. This is also without samsara. Yes. And Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramana alive without samsara. Therefore I am seeing God. This is Jnani. Jnani is Brahman. I am coming from the same point of view of Vedanta. Arguing. You can argue. If you want to argue. Therefore both are right. So what is the standpoint in which you are talking is very important. So Jnani may face physical problems, but they don't have the power to bind him. He sees them as mithya. Kinchit kalam. How much? Kinchit kalam avatistate. Some more time, as long as Ishvara keeps this body for him. So here, Jivan Mukte Yada Bhavet. Kinchit kalam. He becomes a Jivan Mukta. And that Jivan Mukta and Videya Mukta, that status is only from the standpoint of world, from the Prapancha. Go to the last sloka. Nirastadishayanandam Vaishnavam Paramam Padam Pranara Vritti Kaivalyam Pratipadyate. So finally, Acharya comes to Videya Mukti. Merging into the world. Here also he says Vaishnavam Paramam Padam. You should not fight with Vaishnava, Vishnu and Shiva. Here he means Samasti Ishvara takes over. That's all. This is the body who will take over. This is Samasti Ishvara. And finally, so here Vishnu refers to Samasti Ishvara. What type of Vishnu is that Vishnu? Nirasta Adishaya Anandam. Highest Ananda Swarupam. There is nothing superior than that superior most he emerges with. So here again, as earlier we said, the Aikyam is not two separate things getting together. It is only shedding. Here the Aikyam is only shedding what is unwanted. You are already that. It's not two entities coming together and becoming merging. Merger is only a figurative terminology. So you are already that, you have shed, you have this body, Suchma Sariram, Sula Sariram, everything you are handing over to Ishvara. And you become Brahma. The same Ishvara is also Brahma. There is no difference. As long as you have this Upadhi as a vesti, you are bound. And that is gone already. Anjani Stula Sariram alone. See here Anjani Stula Sariram alone goes and Jnani, everything goes. That's the difference. Everything goes. Paramam Vaishnavam Padam. That's what Vaishnava Padavi Adaindar. That means it's not another Padavi. It is nothing uttar. He has left everything. Is the meaning. But whether Jnani Anjani to all we say in the Patrike, in the death column, we say everybody has attained Vishnu Padam. We are so magnanimous and generous. We don't say that X has God, Y has not God. Everybody. So here also we should understand from the standpoint of common man, we say he merges with Ishvara. Even this merging of the point. But from Jnani's point, there is no Vyasti Sariram. There is no Vyasti and Samasti for Jnana. Because Vyasti and Samasti are the only Vyavakarika plane. He has already reached the Paramartika Satyam, Brahma Satyam, and he is established in that Satyam. Brahma Satyam is always established. Even in this statement, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jiva Brahma Naparaha, the first statement alone is enough. The Acharya is telling other things for us to understand. What is the second statement, third statement? What does it say other than the first statement? You think about it. Brahma Satyam. That is enough. That's all over, yeah, everything is over. Where is other thing? Brahma Jagan Mithya, if there is a Jagan, see, Brahma Satyam means there is no Jagan, there is nothing else here. So Jagan Mithya, because for those who think Jagan as real, for them he is saying Jagan Mithya. And then he says, Jivo Brahma. For those who think that Jiva is real, he says Jivo Brahma. For a superior Adhikari, the first Brahma Satya, Adutha Vaya, Adi Tarkartullar Odi. He will go. The moment he says Brahma Satya, okay, thank you. Am Brahmasmi, he will go. So I always used to wonder, why Adi Shankara said 3 sentences? Because to help us. Brahma Satyam is what he is telling again in the second sentence. The third sentence also he tells the same thing. Brahmo Jivaiva na paraha. So for Jnani is ever Brahman. There is nothing else. But whatever the standpoint, there is no Punarjanma. That is the point ultimately. Whether he has reached Vishnu Padavi, whether he has reached Shiva Padavi, whether he has gone to Vaikuntha, all those things, it's all different understandings of different people. But ultimately what we need is there is no, that's what Acharya said, Vritti Rahitam, Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam is technical. So Brahma Nirvana. Kaivalyam is Brahma Nirvana, is Kaivalyam. So technically it is called Kaivalyam. Pratipadyate attains. So this topic, the phalam is also over. It's all complete. But he says you have to maintain sadhana charistam. That's what we need to remember finally. So here, Vaishnavam Paramam Padam Kaivalyam Pratipadyate. This completed Vakya Vritti by God's grace. And I hope we have been following a very systematic way in these sessions combined with the workshops. I hope we have seen some of the most complex ideas for practical life. Because whatever you do, it has to help us. Self-help. I hope we have justified that. Even though it is a very short period, the journey that we have gone through might have had some hurdles and things like that. But it has been very helpful and intensive. We can call this a very intensified course. And we have also touched upon some of the intricate points in Vedanta in the forms of discussions in the evening workshop sessions. Generally people ignore, they don't give importance to that. We always, in India, we tend to take a textbook and read and try to understand it. We're often forgetting Vivekananda, that knowledge is inside me. Nobody gives me knowledge. And what we need is a guide to provoke that and also put you in a particular channel so that your knowledge is kindled and it becomes very firm. That's a very important aspect of learning Vedanta. Our acharyas, our rishis have been doing it. Unfortunately, we lost the track of that educational system. And we are getting into a very confused educational system. Probably if some of you become teachers and go and teach, you should never lose sight of the student's knowledge. And ultimately what we want is the student to know his own knowledge. I'm not just giving anything that I have. The Shastram is revealing and the student has the capacity. That's all about it. What is my role is very, very simple, very, very small. Without the adhikaritvam of the individual, without the Shastram, I am nowhere. And I am just repeating what he said, that what I contribute is only my sincerity and my earnestness in making the adhikari understand. So we will try to sum up in the evening. If possible, I will try to keep it a short one. Because we need to see the whole summary for a short while. It is only for our own revision of what we have studied. Is it okay? Or you want to be free? We'll do it as shortly as possible. Okay? We will meet again in the evening.